good day to you, and welcome to another Mind Money Method weekly market scan. And as always, we're starting off with the dollar index, and we're seeing what's going on. You would have recalled in my last video, I was speaking about the kind of the theme, if you want to call it, for that video was big levels, big support and resistance levels, big numbers, and we need to be, when we're looking at our trades, we need to make sure we look out for these. So, as expected, last week the dollar index did come down. If we will look actually at the weekly, we can actually see here was the level I marked out at around close to the 94, because there had been quite a few dips in previous months. And it got to the, well, if we look at this, close to 93.62. So it did, but then it had a rejection close to the 94, and this is where we've landed up. So it has come to that big level. It's pushed down. Potentially we could see the dollar index potentially pushing on upwards to the middle higher ranges of the range. If you can see, yeah, we got from the 94 all the way up to about 98, 9900. So once again, yes, it did. We are in a new week this week. It's a new day today. Here we are on the 18th, and we've pushed up. We're at about 94. In fact, right now we're sitting at 94.73 on this candle right now. So we've come up here. I'll see what we're going to be doing with this candle, but if we're looking at a zoomed out version, you can see how it's come really in and around this area here. So once again, it has played a key part. We are still, if you want to call it technically, especially on the daily, and also then on the monthly, although it's kind of an indecisive candle on this monthly. We only, there's not much happening for the month of April, but technically we're still in a downtrend, but we have had quite a big pullback. So where to from here? That is the question, and I will certainly be keeping my eye out and having a look at this. So if we go look at other related currencies, let's go and have a look at the US dollar to Canadian dollar, and we will look. If we look here, the US dollar has been losing quite a bit to the Canadian dollar, and we've come to another key level. And you can see there's been touches throughout on this level where we are right now, although it's similarly, it's kind of broken that level. But there's two subjects I wanted to talk about today, and that was key levels going on from last week, as well as on one or two charts, which I will take you through, is why I don't like to generally have my trades unless I've been in a swing trade for a number of days. I don't like to be in my trades over the weekend. I like to try and close out. If I've been in a swing trade for 1 or 2 days, I certainly would like to close up for the weekend, because what we can see is these gaps over here. Although generally these gaps could fill itself, but we don't want to go on a trade like we gamblers. We want to take this seriously like a business. So I generally like to close out because of gaps that you can find over between the Friday to the Monday. But nonetheless, looking at this, we have had a strong pullback, or a pullback into the moving averages. And where to from here? Well, technically we are in a downtrend on the monthly. If we enhance the weekly, we're technically in a downtrend, although this level over here, it's not a massive level, but it has formed a level in the past, and we can see, if I go and mark it out, around the well, it's about, even close to the 1.3 level, or just underneath it, to be quite honest, is more fair. 1.285 thereabout, and we're at that level now. So where to? I mean, for this, so we're going to react and bounce off as the dollar index is strengthening. Is the US dollar going to strengthen and break on and start changing trends? Well, technically we're still in a downtrend, but we need to always think about when are we going to be changing trend. And if we go look at the British pound to the US dollar, well, to be honest with you, right now, although we're pushing down, technically, if we look at the highs, as we're going and we're moving. There's a high, there's a high, there's a high, there's a lower high. So we're pushing downwards, aren't we? We are pushing downwards. But if we look at the weekly, You know, it is, although it's pushing down, we're still in the range over here, consolidation. So not much happening there for the cable. It's a bit of consolidation, plus it's pushing down. It could mean that we could break on and carry on further down, so the British pound now starts losing strength to the US dollar, and that's something to keep an eye out for. So if we go look now, I mean, at let's go look at the euro US dollar. You know, we've had the euro strengthening quite a bit on the daily, and you know, we've had the weekly. If anything, you know, it's kind of now, obviously it's a new week, so we're not anywhere, but last week we definitely ended the week on a low, and here there was a slight pullback, but we ended the week, overall it was you know, a bearish week on the euro to the US dollar, and that's kind of in conjunction with the US dollar index had a strong pullback, so it pulled back quite nicely into the moving averages, and with that we saw a little bit of the other currencies related losing some strength to the US dollar, but not anything to, you know, to make massive rash decisions about, but to keep an eye out, certainly. If we went and looked at something else quite slightly different, if we go have a look at the oil Brent, have a look at that as a commodity. Here's one to show you about what I mean by gaps. Look where we opened up today, being a new week, start of a new week. We finished off last week over here, where we were on quite a high uptrend. We pulled back into the moving averages, but we broke all the way down here. So this is why I generally don't like having trades over the weekend, because you could have got stopped out and walked into a trade which you may have been in quite a nice winning trade, but then you walk in on the Monday to know that you've been smashed right through because of these where the gap's taken and the market's gap like this. So this can happen. So it's something that I always keep an eye out, is to you know, make sure I'm not into a trade on the weekends. One of my rules, one of my trading rules, and these are something we teach you at My Money Method to help you to understand, you know, the trading rules that you should have, and stick to your rules, which is very, very important. If I go look at another commodity, let's go look at actually a mini spot, which is silver. Once again, big level. I mean, if we go and minimize as well, probably look better on the weekly, is look, our price has come along this level over here. Now it's pushed right up to this level at 1.610, there and thereabout. And for me, I'm certainly going to see what's going to be happening with silver, because silver is quite a big one. There's some interesting stuff going on with silver, where it is, first of all, where it's sitting, the level it's at, and if it breaks a level onto the upside for a bullish side, there is a lot of scope for silver to be growing. And my 2 cents worth is that silver is going to push on through, and we are going to see quite a bullish year, I would think, with silver. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Once again, it's a statement, it's my statement, that I'm going to see silver being quite bullish, potentially gold doing the same. Right now, although it's in a level of consolidation with gold, but I would think there's definitely scope to the upside for gold. Is just determining where your entry points and your exit points are, and how you manage your trades, which are key. So yeah, so my plan really for this week is to keep an eye out on the dollar index, to make sure to see where we are. Are we going to start seeing a change of trend, start pushing on to the upside, or are we going to start falling back down to the 94 and then try and shoot back up? So that will see how I look at the other currencies, like the US dollar to Canadian dollar, the British pound to the Canadian dollar, euro to US dollar, and the US dollar to the Japanese yen. That's another one to have a look at and see what's going on. Right now, we're seeing US dollar is been losing to the Japanese yen. It's been devaluating. It's been losing strength. And it's once again, you know, let's keep an eye out and see, are we going to continue on the downtrend, or are we going to return? Right now, it definitely fallen, and it's in a downtrend, and it's something, but for us to have a look. Once again, look at that small little gap there. So this week's tradings was all about gaps and key levels, and to just make sure that you keep an eye out for that. So my trading plan for this week is to look at, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on spot silver, spot gold, and I will be looking at the US dollar, Canadian dollar, because I do like the chart in terms of where it is, and I will be looking to see if there's any trades, if it breaks these key levels, to continue to the downside. If not, and it doesn't, if I was going to be, I would probably be looking in and around, potentially even around here, for it to drop a little bit further in terms of an entry point. If I were something like, I just want to see what happens with this daily candle. Potentially entry around there, stop over there, first 1-to-1, 2. So probably at least a minimum of a 2-to-1 trade. Looking at that, so we'll see how we go with that. But I do like the US dollar to Canadian dollar chart. But yeah, trading plan is to just keep an eye out for all these big levels, and to make sure, obviously, at the end of the week, I'm not in any trades that may be able to then gap over the weekend and take me out of the profit that I've worked over for the week. And that's it. Another Mind Money Method edition. And yeah, please go and have a look at our website, www.mindmoneymethod.com. There are training courses on there online. They are priced quite affordable on a global scale, and we are always willing to help those who are eager to learn. And we look forward to speaking to you very soon. Cheers. Have a nice day. Happy trading, everyone. Cheers.